Hello, hello, and welcome. The topic today is inevitable collapse. Well, I have made a new mission with my uh, channel, YouTube channel, and the mission is hit words to nail. Hit only those words which give out clear-cut outlook for the passage and leave the rest of it. So, with this theme, let us uh, go ahead with some of the words that have been used in the passage and that carry some special meanings. The first is the topic itself, inevitable collapse. Uh, it refers to collapse which is for sure, which is definite, which is unavoidable, and which has to be there. The collapse which has to be there. Hinge. Hinge refers to associate with something in the sense of verb and not as noun. As noun, it has a meaning, a hinge of a door. The door has hinge with which uh, it hangs, and here it means associate with something. To hinge means to associate with something. Stringent, strict. Stringent refers to strict. Abjured. Abjured means to abandon with sorry feeling, not happy feeling. To abandon with sorry feeling. Omnibus services category. Now, this group of words have been used with a special sense to mean a category of several services like hotel industry and the like, the transport thing, services like that. Pandemic mitigation expenditure for reducing severity of pandemic. This is the outcome of this group of words. Wanted, praised, looked for. Something that we look for is wanted. Swathe of informal sector. Area of informal sector. What is informal sector? The unorganized sector. The small shopkeepers, the street vendors, and all like make this informal sector. Then we have agriculture too faces headwinds. Now this means that agriculture also faces some opposition also much due to heavy rains. Now if there is a heavy rain, it comes as a headwind for agriculture. So the topic inevitable collapse. The collapse is for sure. Now what makes the collapse certain? With COVID-19 hitting private consumption, demand recovery will hinge on government spending. So it says that the COVID-19 has hit private consumption. Private consumption, household consumption. It has hit now you can take an example of now under this COVID hit era. We do not want to dress ourselves with fashionable clothings. So we have reduced our expense. The household expenses have been reduced. The core consumption is there, no doubt, but anything away from core is being avoided by the general people in mass, and that has hit the consumption. So the recovery of that demand which has been reduced will associate on government spending. That will be that will definitely hit government spending as well. This is what it says. So the COVID-19 has reduced private consumption, household consumption, and that reduction is going to reduce government spending as well. Oh, this is the subtopic. So, and this is the inevitable collapse, the collapse in government spending. See, why does it say so? It says that the income of government from taxes will reduce if there is loss of private consumption. The government will receive lesser revenue and it will make the government it will force the government to reduce spending. The inevitable has happened. It says that what was forecasted has happened. The things that were foreseen for sure has occurred. India's GDP suffered its steepest contraction on record in the April-June quarter, as output shrank 23.9% from a year earlier. Provisional data show. Now it says that the GDP has gone down by nearly 24% as compared to the previous year for the first quarter. The quarter begins with April. The first quarter extends to June. So April-June quarter, these figures are provisional data. These are not final data. So this data is subject to review. Now, the first data normally shown is generally provisional because all data are not collected in such a short span of time. It takes time, and besides, this time the trouble associated with collection of data was that of COVID-19 pandemic. So let us go ahead. The opening sentence. The opening sentence confirms shrinkage of GDP by 24%. It is evident that stringent COVID-19 lockdowns enforced through the first third of the quarter and subsequently in May hollowed out demand. So, here we are to learn a few words as well along with the sentence. The sentence is very simple. It says that there was a strict lockdown through the first third of the quarter. A quarter spans for 3 months. The first third refers to April. So, the April month saw a strict lockdown and was substantially strict in May as well. Now, those 2 months hollowed out demand. They emptied the demand. They almost zeroed the demand. Now, on many cases, use a noun as a verb. This hollowed is a verb derived from the noun hollow. So here hollow means to empty. Empty is also a noun, but to empty means it is being used as a verb to vacate, to finish off, to make it zero. Now, private consumption spending, which accounts for almost 60% of GDP. Now, this part of the content gives data. What is the data? The first data is private consumption spending. The household consumptions, household spends, the people in general that spend money on consumables accounts for 60% of GDP. The production made to satisfy that part of consumption which is done by the household accounts for 60% of gross domestic product, and this contracted 26.7% as consumers absorbed almost all discretionary spending. So it says that the pandemic lockdown made households to abandon uh, discretionary, not the compulsory one, the discretionary spending to almost zero with a sorry feeling, although they wanted to have those expenses, but they have. So, what are those expenses? The expenses like buying a jewelry or visiting a place as a tourist, holidaying, uh, eating in a restaurant, things like that. The people have avoided those expenses, and that has resulted in contraction of GDP, and the GDP accounts for almost 60% from those household expenses. And the second data refers to exports, and exports which contribute to a fifth of GDP and reflect overseas demand for Indian goods and services shrank by nearly 20%. Now this gives that the exports speaks that other countries are interested in our goods and services, and that is why they buy it from India, and that has also gone down by 20%. So 60% of GDP comes from consumer spending and 20% from exports. These are two figures given over here, and both have gone down. Investment activity was the worst hit, collapsing 47% and shrinking in share of GDP to about 22% from 32% a year earlier. As larger businesses, now as this gives the reasons for this collapse, it says that investment was worst hit. Nobody was willing to invest in new ventures or in the existing ones to add capacities, and it says that it collapsed 47% and shrinking the share of GDP to about 22%. This is another set of data, and with this word as, it gives the reason why there was lack of investment activity. It says that larger businesses conserved cash and refrained from any capital spending in the face of uncertainty. So this is the first reason. Larger businesses avoided spending cash because the future was uncertain. And smaller firms prioritized survival. The smaller who had little money, they gave survival their first preference rather than making expenses. So these two were the basic reasons. The larger ones avoided spending only with a view to keep cash for the future, and smaller ones gave preference to survival itself. Across the real economy, every single industry and services sector shrank with the solitary exception of agriculture, which grew 3.4% and outpaced the year earlier quarter's 3% expansion. So it says that agriculture expanded 3.4%, and it was higher against the previous year expansion of 3% in the similar quarter. So if we are talking of April June quarter of 2020, then it means that it outpaced the April June quarter of 2019. So the next data, construction suffered almost plunging 50%, followed by omnibus services category trade, hotels, communication, transport, and broadcasting. So it says that construction and omnibus services both came down. Construction was hit hardest, going down by 50%, and the general services category like trade, hotels, communication, transport, and broadcasting, uh, which shrank by 47%, hit by pandemic restrictions. So, since there were restrictions, they were also hit by almost 47%. Now, the third group, manufacturing took a severe beating, contracting 39% as demand for products deemed non-essential. Now, this has to be read together. Deemed non-essential is to be read separately and in one place. So, as the demand for products deemed non-essential evaporated, and factories, even after reopening, struggled to run amid shortages of labor and added safety norms. So, the manufacturing has a different story to speak. It contracted 39%. The first reason is loss of demand of non-essential, and then when the factories reopened, they had to struggle with labor force. There was a shortage of labor, and besides, even if the labor was there, the added safety norms that were announced by the government posed another hurdle. So the first para gives an outlay of the contractions that different sectors faced, and the contributors to GDP also finds a mention in the first paragraph. It was left to the government to keep the bottom from falling out on demand as centers' pandemic mitigation expenditure helped expand its consumption spending by 16.4% year on year and softened the overall blow to GDP. So it says that the blow to the GDP was severe. There was a massive contraction in the GDP, but there was one thing which helped the government from the falling out bottom of the expenses or the GDP, and that was the measures taken by the government to prevent severity pandemic, and that this added 16.4% year on year this time. However, with the fiscal deficit already having exceeded the full year's budgeted target in just the first 4 months and revenue receipts impacted by the economic contraction, the government is unlikely to maintain a similar trend in expenditure growth over the next 3 quarters. So it says that what was planned, what was budgeted for the whole year has been exceeded in the first quarter itself. So the rest of 3 quarters is not likely to see a similar kind of expenditure by the government, unless of course it is prepared to forsake its vaunted fiscal conservation and finds innovative ways to mobilize resources. So this is there, the previous text, that the government is not likely to expand expenditure further is subject to the condition that government is willing to conserve the fiscal, means does not allow erosion of the fiscal, further erosion of the fiscal, and finds innovative ways to mobilize more funds. The still rising trajectory of new COVID-19 infections and a high level of job losses and income erosion are also sure to retard any recovery in the momentum. Now it gives 2-3 reasons. First reason is COVID-19 infections are still rising. The second reason is that the job losses are still high, and third, the erosion of income in general to the household economies of the country are definitely make it difficult for the recovery to gain momentum, for the recovery to take place. If the latest survey-based data from IHS Markit show manufacturing PMI for August signaling growth for the first time in 5 months, the same researchers' findings also stress that job shedding continues at a strong rate in the industry. So there is a data from IHS Markit. IHS Markit has uh, uh, has broadcasted his survey-based data, and that says that the August August data says growth in PMI for the first time in 5 months, but it also shows that there has been a lot of job sheddings, job cuts in the industry. Equally significantly, the output numbers, which are expected to undergo revision given the acknowledged difficulties in collecting data, do not capture a swathe of informal sector activity that was severely impacted. It says that the data collected so far is very much likely to be revised. This data is not final because of the difficulties due to COVID-19. But the area of informal sector activities has not been accounted in it, and that area has suffered very severely. Agriculture also faces headwinds in the form of higher than ideal rainfall in August in several key crop growing regions in western and central India, and with the impact of recent farm market ordinances yet to play out, it may be a while before the end of tunnel is sighted. So it says that the agriculture, which has shown 3.4% growth in the first quarter, has still has to find from the over rain, the too much of rain, and that is going to destroy the crop. Besides the recent market ordinances, the government has announced some ordinances related to farm market, for the advantage of agricultural output, for the sale of or trade of agricultural output. Now that has to come out. It will take some time. It will take some more time. It is not in place as of now. So with these two threats, it says that the end of the tunnel is yet to come. We are to wait for the end of all these troubles, and it is not expected too soon. Well, with this, I close for today. Thank you. Please subscribe and like this channel. Thank you once again.